And our next winner is Thaina Minela from Michigan State University. Thaina was a winner of the PhD oral competition. Thaina, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Very nice to be here, first of all. It's amazing to...
Well, it's nice to have you here.
Yeah, experiencing this. My name is Thaina Minela. I'm from Brazil, actually, southern Brazil. Small little town in the west part of my state. So if you guys get, an audience from an odd city, it'll probably be my friends watching this video. So increase your views. And I went to vet school in Santa Maria, Federal University of Santa Maria, and did an internship with Dr. Pursley to conclude my degree in vet school. And from there it was kind of, natural. We worked really well together and did my master's with him and stayed for the PhD as well. Just kept going. In Brazil we say you don't change teams that are winning, so we just kept going.
Yeah. Now, do you have your PhD yet? Have you completed
No,
that?
I'm a second-year
Second
PhD
year.
student. Yeah.
Okay. Very well. Now, the title of your presentation was Lactating Cows Inseminated Following Estrus Have Greater Early Pregnancy Losses Compared to the Double-Ovsynch.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Tell us what the thesis of that research was.
Yeah, so my thesis is focusing on trying to understand how pregnancy losses occur and also investigating common reproductive managements that we use on dairy farms and how they play a role into this pregnancy loss phenomena. Because it's not something really we get a lot of data that we could understand this with a good baseline. So if you think about it, for the past 90 years, our first pregnancy diagnosis is at around 35 days. So when you report fertility, that's the common thing, right? Like pregnancies per AI at 35 days. So we don't have a good reference before that. But we developed a model that we can start looking at pregnancies around 20, 21 days, 22, 23. So there's some variability in there as well. And that was correlated with pregnancy losses. The time they have conceptus attachment, that's the term we utilize. So yeah, it's been a journey. It's a new model. So this is all really novel data, and we're excited about it.
So I have to tell you, this nutritionist learned a lot from
Yeah, I'm glad.
from watching your presentation.
Yes, I try to be as educational as possible.
So what is PSPB?
Pregnancy-specific protein B. Yeah, said that a lot of times.
So what's the significance of that protein?
So this protein, as it says, is specific to pregnancy and is produced by the embryo. So it has a cool migratory behavior. So it goes from the side of the embryo, migrates into the side of the mother, and fuses with the maternal cells. And when it does that, it releases proteins into the maternal circulation. And that's when we know conceptus attachment happens, because these proteins only are in circulation if there's an embryo there. So Alison and I go to the farm every day, collect blood samples, and then we looked at daily PSPB increases, and we can know when conceptus attachment happened, and that's our new reference. And PSPB is also, it may have an endocrine function, but that's also unclear. So there's a lot of people working with that and trying to understand the function of that protein into pregnancy.
So is there an on-farm test for
Yes,
PSPB?
absolutely.
Yeah?
Or no, the ELISA? No, it's a lab test, sorry.
Oh, okay.
The data collection is a lot of farm work, yeah.
And how long does it take the test to complete?
Usually if you can send out the samples, it would be 2 days to get your results. Or if you have a Thaina Minela that can go to the lab, you could get the next day, and do that. But what we do, we work with Bioprint and we send the samples to them and they run it for us retrospectively. So we don't have our results as we are doing the study.
Okay.
So what were your findings comparing Double-Ovsynch to natural estrus?
Yeah, so what we saw is that cows that are inseminated following natural estrus have greater early pregnancy losses. And that was kind of in the back of our minds when we were doing this study, because other studies reported that cows on the Double-Ovsynch program have greater fertility in comparison to cows that receive AI following estrus. So you always wonder, is it really a conception problem? So the cows are not conceiving, or they're losing the pregnancy before we even detected that pregnancy? And that's kind of what we see. We see the increase in PSPB, there's an embryo there, but for some reason, the pregnancy is not maintained. So that's a question for another grad student, probably. I have 2 more projects, but I don't know if I'll be able to answer why those happen.
So, do we know what controls when implantation takes place?
What do you mean?
When that embryo actually implants in the uterus?
So, it usually is followed by maternal recognition of pregnancy. So, before the physical communication, you need to have a chemical kind of a text message, I like to call.
Yeah.
So the embryo sends a text message to the mom, and the text says interferon tau. That's the message, and says, "I'm here. Please don't kill the corpus luteum. I need progesterone." So then after that, we have attachment. So when the embryo is long enough to occupy the uterus and have the actual physical attachment to the uterus, that's when we see the increase in the PSPB. So it's kind of a timing thing, you know, as the pregnancy progresses, it just happens organically.
And see how you make things so easy to understand. Even a marketing guy like myself can understand these. Well,
Nice.
I'm not saying I understand it, but at least have some.
You can
understand.
picture?
I can picture it. Yes,
that's,
exactly.
That's why I'm here.
Excellent job and congratulations. So,
Thank you.
You're in your PhD program, and what's the plans after you graduate?
So, as you guys can notice, I really like to teach, but I really like research as well. So I'd like to occupy a position as a PI, but perhaps have some teaching experience as well on that position. But then I also like extension a lot. So I'm kind of keeping my options open in that regard. I think I really be just working in the dairy industry would be something I really enjoy. But right after the PhD, I think I also need to get away from Dr. Pursley because it's a comfort zone, right? We work well together,
Yeah.
but I think I gotta kind of grow up and just live my own adventures and maybe change a little bit the pace. So try and change advisors probably and do a postdoc somewhere else.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thaina, this has been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us
no
tonight.
problem. Thank you, guys.
We'd love to hear your comments or ideas for topics and guests, so please reach out via email to anh.marketing@balchem.com with any suggestions, and we'll work hard to add them to the schedule. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on your way out. You can request your Real Science Exchange t-shirt in just a few easy steps. Just like or subscribe to the Real Science Exchange and send us a screenshot along with your address and t-shirt size to anh.marketing@balchem.com. Balchem's Real Science Lecture Series of webinars continues with ruminant-focused topics on the first Tuesday of every month, monogastric-focused topics on the second Tuesday of each month, and quarterly topics for the companion animal segment. Visit balchem.com/realscience to see the latest schedule and to register for upcoming webinars.